So children, now we are going to study magnetic field due to a toroid or endless solenoid. Why it is called an endless solenoid? Because if you see that the toroid is basically a circle. The solenoid is basically in form of a circle. So there is no end anywhere. So therefore this is called a endless solenoid. Okay, endless solenoid. Okay. Now, if I roll my fingers of right hand, I'm going to tell you the direction of the field. The direction of the field I have shown with a green pen, and the direction of the field, if you see, it is anti-clockwise. The direction of the field is anti-clockwise. So now how would I determine the direction of the field? See, the current is actually flowing this way. The current is flowing this way. If you notice over here, the current is flowing this way. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to roll my fingers in the direction of the current. What I'm going to do, I'm going to roll my fingers in the direction of the current, and the field over here is what you can say downwards in the plane of paper. Downwards in the plane of paper. So if you see over here, so the current goes this way, and the field is downwards. So the field is downwards. So likewise, for every coil, the field will be directed towards downwards. Like if I take this turn over here, so I would take, see, if I take this turn over here, so the current goes in this direction and the thumb points in this direction. Okay, so at every point the field will be anti-clockwise. Okay, so this is the direction of field. And now understand this diagram. See, here in this diagram there are 3 Amperian loops. 3 Amperian loops I have assumed. Okay, and I will tell you why. See, 1 Amperian loop is this. Here inside, see, this is also DL. So 1 Amperian loop is this. Then the second Amperian loop I have taken along the magnetic field. Along the magnetic field, along the green line, along the green circle, I have taken the second Amperian loop. The third Amperian loop is this. The third Amperian loop is this. Now understand, what are these dots? These dots indicate current. These dots indicate current. So current over here is moving outside, and then it takes a turn and goes inside from here. Okay, same way, current moves outside from here, goes inside, outside from here, goes inside, outside from here, goes inside, outside from here, goes inside. So that is how the current flows. Okay, that is how the current is flowing. So why I have assumed 3 Amperian loops? What are those 3 Amperian loops? This is one DL, this is another DL, and this is another DL. Okay, so these are 3 Amperian loops. There are 3 Amperian. So there are basically 3 Amperian loops. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and let's talk about loop number 1. Now in loop 1, will there be any field? Actually in loop 1, inside loop 1, if you see, inside loop 1 there is no current only. So the current enclosed in loop 1 is 0. So if the current enclosed is 0, there would be no field present on the loop. Okay, now here in loop 1 the current enclosed is 0. So according to Ampere's circuital law, B dot dl is equal to mu naught I enclosed. I enclosed is 0. Therefore B dot dl is also 0. Okay, now we will talk about Amperian loop 3. Now this is loop number 3. Now in loop number 3 definitely has current flowing through it. But if we observe any of the 2 currents, like this and this, okay, like this and this or this, okay, for every current which is moving out, for every wire, for every current which is moving out, there is a current next to it which is moving inside. So if this current is moving out and this current is moving inside, since both of them are the same current, so this current which is leaving the area enclosed by Amperian loop 3 enters here over here and goes inside this. Okay, so this is the current which is moving outside, this is the current which is moving inside. So if I take the direction of this current to be positive, then this current will definitely be negative. And when I calculate I enclosed, that is when I am adding both of them, the total current will become 0. The total current will become 0 due to these pairs, due to this, 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 due to this. So everywhere where the current is moving out, adjacent to that is moving inside. So if the current which is moving out I take positive, the current which is moving inside will be considered negative, and then when I add the currents when I add the currents to calculate the current enclosed, I find the current enclosed becomes 0. So in DL also, in the Amperian loop 3 also, the current enclosed becomes 0. I am reading it for you. In loop 3, the current moves out from one end and enters at the other end. So the total current leaving and entering the surface enclosed by the solenoid is same. Okay, so the total current enclosed by the Ampere loop 3 is 0. By Ampere's circuital law, B dot dl is equal to mu naught I enclosed. Since I enclosed is 0, therefore B dot dl will also be 0. So what loop we are left with? We are left with loop number 2. Now let's talk about loop number 2. Now if you loop number 2, you see that dl is in this direction and magnetic field is also in the same direction. So both dl and magnetic field are moving anti-clockwise. Okay, so the angle between dl and B is what? 0 degree, and cos 0 is 1. Okay, if I assume n be the number of turns in toroid, total number of turns in toroid be n, and the current in toroid be I naught, then the current enclosed by the Amperian path, Amperian loop 2, will be I enclosed is equals to n into I naught. Okay, now this is the toroid, and in this toroid there are n turns, and current in each turn is I naught. So what will be the total current? N into I naught. That is the current enclosed. Now this is the current enclosed by the toroid, by the Amperian loop in the toroid. Okay. Now by Ampere's circuital law, we know that B dot dl is equal to mu naught I enclosed. B dot dl can be expanded to B dl cos theta. Okay, dot product is equal to mu naught I enclosed. Now theta is 0 degree and cos 0 is 1. Therefore I enclosed becomes, and I enclosed is n into I naught. Theta 0, cos 0 1, I enclosed n into I naught. Putting all of these values, putting the value of I enclosed over here, B dl cos theta, in place of cos theta I will place cos 0. So I will get B dl is equals to mu naught n I naught. Okay. Now B integral dl is equals to mu naught n I naught. Okay. Now what should be the value of integral dl? Now let's go back to the diagram and understand that where is integral dl. Now this integral dl, this dl actually lies on the Amperian path. Is actually lying on the Amperian path number 2. And if I see that the radius of the toroid, or you call the radius of this Amperian loop 2, is capital R. Okay, the radius of the Amperian loop and the radius of the toroid is basically same, which is capital R. So whatever is the radius of the toroid, the same radius I am going to use to calculate the circumference of the Amperian loop. And since dl lies on this circumference of the Amperian loop, then integral dl will be equal to the circumference of the Amperian loop 2. Okay, now going back. Now, integral dl will be equal to circumference of loop 2, that is 2 pi capital R, where R is the radius of the loop or toroid. Okay, now putting the value of integral dl over here. So this becomes the equation. B times 2 pi R is equals to mu naught n I naught. So what I do, 2 pi R I am sending towards the right. Okay, now it comes in the denominator. So the formula becomes B is equals to mu naught n I naught upon 2 pi R. Okay, now what is 2 pi R? Now what is 2 pi R? Now n upon 2 pi R is the number of turns per unit length of the toroid. Now toroid is in form of a circle. 2 pi R becomes the length of the toroid. So n upon 2 pi R becomes turns per unit length of toroid. And what is turns per unit length called? Small n. So in this formula, where it is n upon 2 pi R, I will place small n. So the formula turns out to be mu naught n I naught. B is equal to mu naught n I naught. Where what is I naught? I naught is the current in toroid. What is the small n? Turns per unit length. Okay. Thank you so much.